Welcome back, grade 10 with Unit 1, Sports and Obsession by North Star. Okay, today we are going to focus on writing. Focus on writing. I'd like you to go to page 15 in your textbook, Focus on Writing, and we start off with the vocabulary review. And that is a review of all the words and phrases that we've been talking about in this unit. So read the paragraph about the Academy Award-winning actress Natalie Portman. Complete the paragraph with the words from the box, and not all the words will be used. So you got to be careful which ones to use. The first one is done for you. You can pause your video to do this activity. Go ahead. That brings us to the second part, which is expand. You see here a table with 4 columns, noun, verb, adjective, and adverb. And these are the POS, part of speech. And I'd like you to fill it out. Each word, what is the verb, the adjective, and the adverb. And some words do not have adverb, or some not even a verb form. Pause your video to complete the table. Go ahead. That brings us to the grammar of this part, the last part in the unit for reading and writing. Look at the following examples from reading 2. Think about the meaning of the bold-faced words. As soon as I met Ashley, I could tell right away that she was obsessed with the sport. You may not be able to control how other people feel about you, but you can control what you put in your mouth. Last, you can also control how many calories you put in your mouth. Here we have the bold-faced word and phrase of could, can, be able to, and can. Now, these words all describe ability. Ability, we can express it by the usage of the word can, be, able to, or could. Let's start with can. When we're looking at the word can describes the ability in the present. For example, he can climb Half Dome in Yasmine. That is a noun. 2, be able to describes ability in the present as well. She's able to swim fast. He is not able to ride a horse. All shows the ability, what you can do in the present. So can and be able to are both used for the ability in the present. Could or was, were able, so could or was able, were able, describes general ability in the past. When he was a boy, he could ride his bike all day. Last winter, they were able to ski 4 times. So was able to, were able to, or could describe a general ability in the past. 4, use be able to describe ability in forms other than present tense, can, or past tense, could. So it still describes an ability. Yes, they will be able to win the race. That would be future. Or they have been able to win 2 championships. That is present perfect. So in this case, in number 4, we would use be able to describe ability other than can, which is the present, or could, which is the past. So other than the present and the past, in this example, we see the future tense and the present perfect tense. Okay, now that brings us to the activity. A young rock climber wrote a letter to Alex Honnold. Complete the sentences with can or can't, could, couldn't, or able to express ability, and in the correct way. Okay, you're going to fill out numbers 1 until number 9. You can pause the video to complete the letter. Go ahead. Number 3, on a separate piece of paper, write down 5 statements about yourself, each using a different verb expressing ability from the list in the box. You could write some that are true and some that are not so true. Now, let's keep it to true. And if you cannot come up with 5 statements, you can just come up with 2. 2 is fine with me. Make 2 statements about yourself that are true though. And I'd like you to use the expressions of ability in the box from be able to, not able to, not be able to, can, can't, could, or couldn't. Use either one of these verb expressing your ability of something that is true about you. You write them down, and in our next Zoom meeting we will discuss. Take a moment to answer that. Right, well done. That brings us to the final part of this unit, which is the final writing task. And as you already know, you are going to write a factual report, but you are not going to write about Alex Honnold's completion of the triple and amazing rock climbing achievement. No, you are going to write a factual report about any person, yeah, who has achieved something, but not necessarily about Alex Honnold. Okay, the most important thing for this is that we're learning on the steps that we need to take in our writing. So basically the first part is when you're doing brainstorm, okay? You're trying to come up with your ideas, so we brainstorm in order to gather ideas. And you can brainstorm by doing free writing, mind maps, or just making a list of your ideas. There are different ways on how you can brainstorm and whatever works best for you. You do not worry about spelling and grammar. You just write anything that comes to mind. Then after being done with your brainstorm, you will then select the ideas from that list, the ideas that you want to use. And those ideas, the ones that you think are good, those will be put into an outline. And it is just like the outline you have in your journal. Yeah? So whatever type of brainstorming you choose, it's up to you. And then once you have chosen the ideas you want to use in your writing, in your paragraph, then you put those ideas in the right place in the outline in your journal. Now, when you looked back at the newspaper article in reading 2, we see that it's different. Now, the question is, how is it different from the style of reading 1? How are the text in reading 1 and the text in reading 2, how are they different? Yeah, these are 2 different types of texts. In reading 1, the text is an interview. So that is going on between an interviewer and interviewee, asking questions and answering questions and going over that. Whereas in reading 2, we read a newspaper article, which is an ongoing writing, a continuous writing, explaining something specific. Yeah, and it's newspaper article, so it's factual, yeah? What do you think is the purpose of the newspaper article? What do you think? Exactly, it's to inform, right? It's to report information, to inform about information, correct. Now, using the 5 W's to write a factual report, it will definitely help. A news article is an example of a factual report because it states all facts. So good newspaper articles answer 5 basic questions, yeah? Called the 5 W's. So the who, the what, the when, the where, the why, and maybe also the how. So those are very important for you to come up with ideas, what you could write about. So you could also direct your brainstorming towards the 5 W's in order to come up with ideas that you could place in your factual report for your journal, which is only 1 paragraph, okay? So you've done your brainstorming, I've come up with ideas, and then pick your ideas and then you place them in your outline, which is the organization of your ideas with a clear topic, sentence, main point, details, maybe another main point and details, and then the concluding sentence to wrap up the paragraph, to end it. All right, we go to number 3. By the way, it's nice to look at this. Who, what, when, where, and then why and how are like mostly combined together. Look at the facts about Hanel's climb. Match them with the correct categories. Write the correct letter in the blank before each fact. You may write a letter more than once. So we've got the categories: who completed the triple, what is the triple, when did Alex Hanels complete the triple, where did he do it, how long did the climb take, and why is the climb so impressive. And here you have 6 facts. Okay, I'd like you to connect the correct letter with the correct fact. You can pause your video now. Okay, this showed you. Oh, wait a second. I totally forgot. This goes on until number 10. So it's number 1 until 10. Right. But you must have seen that already. Good job. Okay, so that is where we're looking at statements and so category statements and also facts, like which one goes with which one, which question or which W word, also called information word, fits with the statement or the fact that has been made, seeing the connection and knowing how one fits with the other. Awesome. We go to number 4. This is where you're going to plan. So this goes to your outline basically, but this is not such a complete outline. It's better that you take a look at your outline in your journal because it is more precise. Yeah. But here is where you plan the first draft of your graph. So you do your brainstorm, you come up with ideas, and then you pick the ideas you want to use, and then you place those ideas in your outline, in your journal, and then you can write your first draft. Like here, for example, you start with your topic sentence, your TS, the first sentence. Write a topic sentence that states the main idea of your paragraph. Remember, we have in our paragraph the topic sentence wherein we state the topic and the purpose of a paragraph. And then we go to the body, give at least 5 supporting details. So you come up with your main points and details. And then you write a concluding sentence which restates the main idea of the topic sentence in a new way. So basically in your concluding sentence, your CS, you're actually saying what you wrote in your TS, but you're just writing it in a different way. And then you're done with your paragraph. So you basically just have to come up with your main idea, your topic and your purpose, and then main point detail, main point detail, main point detail, and then the last sentence to conclude it. The topic sentence is 1 sentence. The concluding sentence is only 1 sentence. And in here you can have several sentences, okay? Cool, because remember, this is only 1 paragraph, not an essay. So use your outline to write the first draft of your paragraph, which you can then afterwards revise. So after you've written your first draft, you can check it, and then you could always revise it, like adding things or taking things away. Now, when you write, one of the things you need to pay attention to is considering your audience. Okay, like who is your audience, who are you writing for, and what is the age group of your audience, because all that will determine how formal you write, and that will then be done. The formality will be chosen by the choice of words you use, like the way you write will determine how formal it is. Adding more information for greater clarity. What's the point to that? When you write, think about your audience, the people who will read what you write. Remember that they may know less about the topic than you do. Sometimes writers, because they know a lot about the topic they write about, forget to give a lot of extra information, which actually helps the audience to better understand. So make sure you clearly explain your words or expressions. Yeah? For example, here it gives the sentence, Vista High School gymnast Ashley Jones was hospitalized Tuesday for complications related to anorexia nervosa. Now the problem is that some people don't know what anorexia nervosa is. So you could say it in a different way, making sure that the extra information added will help the audience understand. Vista High School gymnast Ashley Jones was hospitalized Tuesday for complications related to anorexia nervosa, an illness in which the person is obsessed with dieting. Now, adding just that little bit of information just prevents the audience from misunderstanding or not understanding what you're talking about. So there's several ways how you can add more information to a sentence. You could, for example, do it between commas in the middle of a sentence, like here. So Dr. Paul Kim, comma, director of the comma, and you continue. Or you add more information after a comma at the end of the sentence, like you see here, the comma, and then which effects, and you add the information like what happened here. Okay, so adding that little bit of information is important because it helps you to you will help the audience to better understand what you're talking about, and you can never assume that other people know everything you know. All right, you want to make sure that people get what you're saying. Okay, really cool. That brings us, I'm going to skip number 1, and that brings us to the part of editing. So, wow, what was it now again? The first one was brainstorming, getting ideas, then picking the ones you want to use. Second is then you put those ideas in an outline, right? And you check your outline whether that's correct. In your outline, you determine a little bit about what your topic sentence will be like, the main idea, topic and purpose, and then the main points, details in your body, and then the concluding sentence. After you've done that, you can write a draft, you can write your paragraph, and then you can ask a friend of yours to check it, or your teacher to proofread it, and then you can revise things that, for example, where you were unclear in your content, where you have to maybe include more specific details to make your content more clear, or maybe where you can add something or take something out that is more focused on content in the first draft and editing. And then you can write your final draft. So your first draft is written and then proofread on content, what should be better explained, added, taken out, and then you rewrite it, and that is called your final draft. And you carefully then, after you've written your final draft, you edit it for grammatical and mechanical errors, so sentence errors, spelling, capitalization, punctuation, and so on. And you make sure you use some of the vocabulary and grammar from the unit 1, right? And then you can use the checklist to help you write your final draft. And then you submit it. See, here you have a checklist. Does your topic sentence state the main idea of the paragraph? Does your paragraph answer the 5 W's? Are the supporting details in order? Do you use quotations to give more facts and opinion? Does the concluding sentence restate the main idea of the topic sentence in a new way? Did you add information to explain words or expressions that were unclear? Do you use can, could, or be able to express ability? And do you use new vocabulary from the unit? These points from the final draft checklist have to be in your paragraph. And that is also what I will use to check your paragraph. Okay, so brainstorm, gather ideas, and then choose the ideas, put them in an outline, check your outline whether you have everything in the right place. Then you write your first draft. Then you check your draft on content, where information is unclear, some information that needs to be added or taken away. And then you write your final draft. Before you do that, you look at these points in the checklist, making sure that all that is your final draft. When you write your final draft, edit a little bit on your spelling, capitalization, punctuation, grammar, and mechanical errors, and you submit it to me, and I will read it. Right. Okay, so that is the end of our section for Focus on Writing, Unit 1. And let me look at it as a recap. We just did a review of all the words used in this unit and trying to place several of those words in the correct POS, part of speech, how that works from noun to verb, adjective, and adverb. And we looked at the grammar of ability, the usage of can, be able to, and could, to express an ability in the present, an ability in the past, or just a general ability. All right. And it is also an ability that we can express in a different tense, such as future or present perfect, for instance, by using be able to. And last The last thing we did was looking at our final project. You're going to write a factual report. And so we went through the stages of pre-writing, which are brainstorming to get ideas, outlining to organize your ideas. The first they get to the writing part is your first draft, which you then edit on content, and then you write your second draft, and you pay notice to the final points in your final draft checklist, making sure that all those points are in your final draft, and then you edit for spelling, mechanical errors, grammar errors, punctuation, capitalization, and so on, and then you submit it. Now, before we got to that point, we also looked a little bit at the usage of the 5 W's to write a factual report. So for a factual report, which is very similar to a newspaper article, it's very important that you have the who, the what, the when, the where, the why, and the how. The why and the how is mostly combined. Did you answer all those 5 W's and H in your factual reports? Yeah, that makes your report very complete. Having a category or a topic connected with a good fact, making sure that all the things that you say are well connected. And sometimes you might have to add a little bit more information to just be more clear, remembering that your audience doesn't know as much as you do, so you should always make sure that you're very clear in your explanations and the content of your writing. And remember that the final draft checklist should all be checked off, should be in your paragraph. Awesome beans. Guys, you did a great job. I'm very proud of you. I'll see you very soon with the start of a new unit. The next video will be Unit 2. Guys, God bless you and stay excited. See ya.